Hello everyone, this is Darker Joe, and today I'm going to be doing a video talking about the Collab, and I'll talk about ML Politis and stuff. I think I'm going to be going into a minor rant when we get to the Politis part, so I'm going to talk about that one last. I'm just going to go through a quick, like, overview, not I guess overview, but just talking about the Collab, which was revealed. Also, I was thinking about making the videos before when we got all those like hints and stuff, like, oh, is it gonna be soul leveling? Is it gonna be Overlord? I was just like, but then obviously they kind of psych this out and make us feel like it was just going to be the April Fools. Then we all pissed off and that's just, it was weird. So I wanted to wait until we had an actual confirmation type of thing before I did any videos or talks about it. So yeah, obviously they revealed it that we are getting Overlord. So as you can see right here,
Orbis, そのような場所は初めて聞くな。私の名はアインズール・ゴウン。さあ、ナザリックの偉大さを示す時が来た。
Alright. And it was revealed to be starting in April 18th is the start date, but we're going to get the reveal of what their kits are and stuff on the 9th or the 10th, whichever one's Wednesday. Yeah, so on Wednesday we're going to get the reveal of their kits and stuff. We might not get all three of the reveals though, because I think the way it's going to be is they're going to reveal the characters that are going to be happening the week after that, right? So they're going to reveal obviously Ainz, because Ainz is going to come from the side story. And you were gonna get Ainz for free, according to like the minor, like, not data mine type of thing, or what they leaked on accident. Ainz is going to be our very first ML5 collab unit, but we're gonna get it for free. So we're gonna get them probably from like logins and like side story stuff. So you're gonna get a full triple S Ainz and a full his artifact, maxed out by just logging in and doing the side stories. So. And some people were saying like, oh, that means he's gonna be bad. Like, look at all the other free collab units out there. Like, Soul bad guy's kind of bad. And then they're like, Shuna was bad on release. She's very good now because she got buffed. But but like at the same time, like you look at, and then Ram obviously is very bad. But it's like, well, then you look at stuff like Riza. Riza is usable. She's not bad. So you could use Riza. And now the fact that they buffed up Shuna to be a good unit. Maybe they're trying to learn the fact that, hey, maybe you don't want to just give us free units, all the free units to be trash. Like maybe we want them to be at least somewhat viable in places like that. So yeah, I think Ainz is going to be decent at least, especially with him being an ML5 though as well. I think he's going to be good. Like he's probably going to be as good as like just a good 5-star RGB type would, a normal 5G. So. As far as what my opinion on Overlord is, I like the anime for sure. But it's not one of my favorite isekais. Honestly, my favorite isekai would be ReZero. Actually, ReZero is my favorite anime as well. So then we all know how bad ReZero really is in Epic 7. I mean, Ram and Melee gets uses here and there at least, but yeah. Then again, ReZero was kind of a shoe-in. Like, you could just tell everyone was super rushed on that one, so it's whatever. But like, yeah, so Overlord's pretty good. I have no issues with it. Well, I think it is somewhat overrated. It has its moments of like it. I like the earlier season. Like season 1 and 2, I think was good. I don't remember season 3 like at all. Season 4 was okay. Like I remember what happens at the end of season 3, but I don't remember. I pretty much don't remember like the first like 10 episodes of season 3. That is like how little I even think about season 3. Season 4 was okay, but like I do like the characters though. I'm just a cool character. I like Albedo and Shoutier are both like really cool. I like those two characters. So you know what? Even if I think the anime is kind of slightly overrated, and like it's good, but it's not like amazing or anything like that. I mean, then again, some people do think that with ReZero, so it's fair. But I do like the characters at least, so I'm really excited for this. This is someone this is what I always said before. I don't care what we get a collab with. Just as long as it's as long as it's an IP, I at least have an idea what it is, and has cool characters for it. Like for example, I never watched Full Metal Alchemist, but like I knew what the characters were. I knew a lot about Edward and Riza and Roy. I knew the characters, so like I wasn't extremely excited because I didn't watch the anime. I'm like, hey, it's an IP I know and I know the characters of, so I was really happy with it. So same thing with it's in the same thing with like kind of Guilty Gear. I didn't really know Guilty Gear that much until the collabs and stuff, but like it was a fighting game, and I think I remember seeing the characters before I played Epic 7, so I was like, okay, that's cool. Obviously, I love ReZero and I love Slime, so those two I was already super excited for. And like, I just don't want to be in our character a situation like Espa. Like, I'll be honest, I never knew what the hell Espa was until Epic 7. I'm like, what the f is Espa? And then like, because I don't watch K-pop or all that stuff, so or whatever it's. So it was like I had no idea what it was. So to me, it's just like it was just random, and how broken Karina is, and type of thing, and how, and the fact that we're probably never gonna get they're never gonna get a rerun for that, which is kind of dumb because how broken Karina is and Rocket Punch is. But like whatever, that's a different rant. Yeah. So basically, I'm gonna go over the characters a little bit. Let's go. I had to search. I had to put the word anime because I guess there's another thing with Overlord, but I guess in general. But so images, we can see. All right. So Ainz. No, we don't want to buy anything. I just want to look at the characters. So basically, this is Ainz. You've probably seen the character. Obviously, if you haven't seen the anime, you've probably at least seen the character. He is probably going to be a. He's probably going to be a mage. Obviously, going to be a mage, but like he could be a warrior because he could go for his warrior like persona. But like it's probably going to be a mage. So I would be known to be dark. So it's going to be probably a dark mage. I don't know what his skill set would be. Because we only really seen him like fight all out, like only like once or twice, really. And he doesn't use cash shop. Oh god, no. But like, I think his S3 might be like falling down type of thing. Is like his super tier magic. But yeah. Anyways, he's a free unit. He's gonna be the free unit. So I don't have 100% thoughts on it. Okay, let me go over here. Let me go to Albedo, which is probably a lot of people's favorite character in here. She is actually the knight in the series as well, or the tank. I should say not the knight, but she is like she's kind of there to tank damage kind of a way. So. Because of that, I think she's going to be... Well, she could be a warrior, I guess, too. But I think she's going to be an actual knight. That's my guess. As far as element goes, I'm assuming this is not going to be a dark unit. Because we're going to get a banner for it. So it's probably going to be... I don't know. I don't think they're going to try to use the same element on both Shalltear and Albedo. And I'm going to guess Shalltear is going to be a fire unit. So Albedo might be... They might just make her I don't know. It could be ice or water. It could be ice or earth, but yeah, this is Albedo. We don't really see her go all out in the show, so we don't really know. I don't really know what her skill set would be like at all. That's the thing you guys me. I'm wondering, like, you really go crazy on this. And then obviously we got Shalltear. The only thing I'm worried about, because she's a vampire, is I have a bad feeling they're gonna go, oh, this is Shalltear, we're gonna make her a fire mage vampire immortality unit. It's like, no, we don't need another Melissa. I mean, she kind of looks like Melissa too, actually. That's the comment I always made before, and that's why I liked Melissa when she came out. I was like, hey, it reminds me of Shalltear, and now look, we have Shalltear. But no, please just do not make her a freaking fire mage, like a fire mage unit just because she's a vampire, and like you're gonna make her basically a better version of Melissa. I'm like, no, Melissa isn't good, and the reasons why Melissa's not good, it's gonna be the same freaking reasons why she won't be good. Like she's like even as a fire unit, she's probably not gonna be very good. But I mean, if they could make her a warrior though too, because she does have a warrior. I don't think they're gonna show it on here though. But she has like a warrior form, a combat form, and so she's all in the suit of armor, which obviously she's not gonna be in the suit of armor, but she does have one, and her weapon, her petite lance, I think it's called petite lance, or something like that, is it basically heals it heals her, her life based off the damage she does. It's lifesteal. So she's gonna have some kind of built-in lifesteal in either her kit or her weapon, well, or she'll have an artifact that gives her it. So she might have like a better version of a Sigurd Scythe. That's my guess. She's gonna have a better version of Sigurd Scythe in her kit, in her artifact. So that's, and then she'll probably be a warrior and stuff like that. So a fire warrior with maybe some immortality. She might have immortality. Or wait. She does have that one thing in the end of season 1 where she can revive. She might actually revive. She might be like Arby, where she, or like Mercedes, where they die, they come back to life type of thing one time. That actually, you know what? That'd be kind of fun. Okay, so that's one thing they could do. But yeah. Anyways, that is what I think about that. I am excited for it for sure. I really like Shalltear and El Battle, so I also have enough to... Right now, I have almost enough for Pity in here and almost enough for Pity in here. Since we're going to get the reveal next... We're going to get the reveal in 3 days. We're probably not going to get the summon for another... Like, you know, another week after that. So I have basically a week and a half. And I might be able to get these up to almost... And plus, obviously, the... when we get the freaking side stories and stuff and log and stuff, I'll have enough to get almost 2 pities, so I'll be fine. I'll definitely make a video for it. I'll spend 1 pity on Albedo, 1 pity on Shalltear. Even if I pull them early, I'll probably still drop the same amount of 600 bookmarks type of thing, just to say, hey, I might pull an extra copy of them or the artifact, and then maybe I'll start saving up memory shards or fragments, and then use it to triple S them eventually. But yeah. That's my thought on it. I'll be excited. I'll be making sure to do a video on Wednesday talking about their kits and stuff. Again, I don't know if we're gonna get all 3 of the reveals, or if we're gonna get just 2 of them, and then the next one will come in, you know, on the next mains week type of thing. But yeah, that's that. So then we're gonna talk about ML Politis.
Would you care to share a dance with me? We can waltz until the black oceans dry up, and the sea salt becomes like stars. Life is full of suffering. Let this be your paradise. Shall we dance?
Alright.
Sea Phantom Politis.
Her design is like really freaking good. Her animation is really good. Like, she's definitely a waifu for sure. I always thought Politis was cute too. I always liked Politis, but this version too, it's like the way it looks is so good too. But she is going to just destroy the meta. I think it's insane. Like, okay, first of all, she got the same stat line as Lua and Biblis, so very, you know, really good speed. Really tanky. The only thing is she doesn't get effectiveness though, which is good because that means she has at least something. If you want to get high effectiveness, you actually have to sacrifice some speed or some bulk. You can't just get it easily like some of the other units. Like, I think Lua gets, she seems stat line as Lua, but Lua gets effectiveness from, you know, her imprints. But yeah, okay, so this is the stat line obviously. Her S2 decreases the amount of resources gained by the enemy by 50%, and at the start of the battle and at the end of the turn has up to 100% chance to gain stealth. Here is the problem though. Like, first of all, do you see how broken like Guiding Light is, to the point that it's so broken every every ranger in the game either has to have Guiding Light or has to have a built-in Guiding Light to be viable. I mean, outside of very situational like ones, like obviously, because you're probably not gonna I mean, you can obviously, but you're probably not gonna put Guiding Light on you know, Pyro Captain's Land. You could though. It's not terrible on her, but like you probably want to have the bomb artifact on her type of thing. Or obviously you're not gonna put it on like fire, you know, Samurai Syria obviously. So there are units out there that are rangers that don't rely on the stealth thing. Or like in Bihu, well, you could put it on Bihu as well, but Bihu's probably going to put the one that you get the extra burn and stuff. But it's so broken to the point that, or you could say is Rangers are so bad they desperately need it, which is, I guess, kind of true as well, but Because screw you, Zeo. That's why. Because Zeo's broken as hell that you need it. Because a lot of Rangers are openers too, so that's why you need it. Because freaking Zeo. You could just nerf Zeo and just the guy light might not be as super important, but no, can't nerf units. There's no such thing as that. Anyways, the building Guiding Light is one thing, whatever. Because if they didn't have this, everyone just put Guiding Light on her anyways, and she'll have it, so whatever. But this is the part that's kind of crazy. She decreases the amount of resources gained by 50%, which also includes their starting resource. So like Dilibet generally starts off with 50% 50% on her fighting spirit. She's gonna start off with 25. On top of the fact that it's gonna gain even less. So I'll talk about once I go over the units type of thing. But so okay, you know what? Screw it. I'll talk about it now. Not that. You know the amount of units here that's going to get screwed over by that? Like, first of all, let's look at all the units here that are resources that uses fighting spirit or, fighting spirit or focus. Wait, doesn't Benimaru? Well, Benimaru, who cares? No one's really going to use him anyways. But he is a fighting spirit unit, right? Yeah. But I mean, he's bad anyways, so whatever. But yeah, that would be one that gets screwed over. Kane obviously is PvE anyway, so who cares? Fire Ken, Fire Ravi, both of them are already like not really viable right now, and they get destroyed by it. Fire Charlotte, which again is still struggling but still usable, can't get screwed over by it. None of those. Milim. Alright, so Milim is kind of in a weird situation. It does hurt Milim because obviously you're not going to gain your focus, so you can't wahahaha them as often or at all. But she does remove the stealth off of her, so it's kind of the same situation as like Milim against Arya. Like Arya destroys Milim, but at the same time Milim also kind of counters Arya because it removes the stealth off of everyone to the point that you could just start hitting the other units, and Arya's not a big of a threat. That's why it's like kind of a counter, kind of not. But yeah, I think Roy also gets screwed over by it. But again, these are all units that no one really plays that much anyways. Shu is a unit I play now. She gets screwed over by it. Brieg, which mostly PvE unit anyways. Summer Break Charlotte. I mean, there's probably other ones like I'm gonna start talking about the ones that are SS. Well, SSB actually is, you do see her sometimes, so that is one that's kind of a hard hit. But like, the one thing I'm like kind of worried about is the fact this is just gonna it destroys Lionheart Ceremia, which makes it so that she basically. It takes so much extra turns for her to be able to use S3. I mean, I know with the same thing like Elvira does counter her, but Elvira also procs her S2, so at least you're going to be able to get some resets and stuff. But well, I mean, Politis does kind of proc her too on the S1 when we get to that point. But yeah, to kill Landy, well, not even kill Landy, because Landy would still S1 S2 you, and that would still kill you throughout the match. So. Because most of the time, the game's decided before Landy even presses S3. So it doesn't really affect Landy that much. I mean, it does, so it gives you that... makes it you're not really as threatening. Your ending is not as threatening. But, like, you're still going to die to counter salvo a lot. So... But now, I guess if you go ML Politis plus Rowana, green Rowana, you basically can't die then to Landy. But that's 2 units to counter 1 unit, so it's like, it's fair for it to counter, so. Plus, I don't care. Freaking remove Landy from the game. ML Kairon is already struggling as it is. Now he's basically 100% dead. C. Pavel, Sage Vivian, that's going to kind of kill her too, pretty hard. And she's already struggling too. ML Bologna, Dilibet. Now you can't use Bologna into freaking Landy now, so you know what's gonna happen. Every freaking Landy user is just gonna draft Landy plus Politis now, because now you really can't do anything. because you're almost never going to get the focus to counter back. So Landy's never going to worry about it. Dilibet isn't ever going to get the reset. Basically Dilibet becomes what she was pre-buff. Like when she first came out, she was literally the worst ML5 when she first came out, because back then she originally was designed to counter like the Fairy Tale Tenebria plus Cerise combo. That's what she was designed to do. That you even look at her original video, it's her being used against those two units. They built her, they designed her solely for that combo. But it's like, well, you designed her to counter two specific units being drafted together. And then, of course, they just stop playing one of them and then just draft one of them. It's like, well, Dilibet can't do anything, because back then, I don't think she started off with her fighting spirit. I don't think she started off with 50 fighting spirit back then. And then she only got 5 fighting spirit per debuff on your team. And I don't think she even CR pushed or anything either. I think she just cleansed and gave herself... No, I think she CR pushed, but she didn't give herself defense buff. I think she cleansed, pushed herself up, but she didn't give herself defense buff. But, like, this is kind of making her... Politis kind of makes her back to her old self, besides her, she still gets defense buff, obviously. But, like, because now she's going to start off with only 25% fighting spirit, which I guess is better than what she was before, obviously. But now she's going to get 5 fighting spirit every time per debuff, and then so it's going to take insanely long time for her to get reset. Which means, okay, so she starts with 25 fighting spirit, so that means she needs 75 fighting spirit at 5 per person, right? At 5 per debuff. So that means they need to go through 15 debuffs before she gets her reset with an ML Politis on their side. So imagine they use Ran, right, where they hit 2 and they land both debuffs on everyone. So that's 8 debuffs, right? That means, Ran ends your turn, you get 8, and then the next unit goes, and then you finally get the 8, and then you finally push up. So now, or if it's someone like Conqueror Lilius, right? Conqueror Lilius only lands 4 debuffs, right? So imagine all 4 debuffs land, maybe 5 if you count the provoke. So we'll just say that, right? Provoke. So that's 5 debuffs. That means you got to go through it. Well, I guess 2.5, because technically the 4 lands, and then at the end of the turn. It's going to delay it to the point that she can't counter Ran Cleave anymore. Like, she literally cannot counter Ran Cleave. Because they go Ran into something like, insert any other freaking bridge, like it goes into, like, Jacko. You can't cut the Jacko anymore, for sure. It goes into, like, Summer of Syria. Summer of Syria pushes up, and obviously after the Soul Burn, and then you might push up, but it's like... By then, you might have already just lost the advantage there. It goes into, and you might get hit by stuff like Sea Pavel or whatever, or ML Rwana will also push her back even more and reset her. She's gonna need a buff once ML Politis comes out, because she's not gonna function as a unit. It's already sad enough that Avira basically makes her a glorified minion, because she doesn't work. She can't do anything. And she was already on a niche situation. You see her sometimes, sure. I love using her myself, but it's like, I'm not going to be able to use her. Like, Ran Cleave is just going to run the game over. Once ML Politis comes out, they're going to find a way to draft ML Politis with their freaking Ran Cleave. What do you do? You can't use, I guess they're going to find, now, because they wouldn't have to worry about, like, Dilibet or other units like, counter units like this, Emma Bologna. They wouldn't have to worry about Abyssal Euphine either, or Candy, because maybe Candy, because maybe those two, because they can just counter spam you and kill the squishy units, but at least they don't want to worry about getting hit by the S3, because, obviously this getting cut down by 10. So basically, if you're countering, yes, that means if you're not countering at all, it's going to take you 10 whole freaking attacks or damage. You're taking 10 hits or doing 10 hits. But even if you counter every single time you get hit, that's still going to take you 5 attack plus counters for you to get it. By then, you could probably be pushed back, CR the death, and just killed. Rylate is just like not going to... Rylate's going to be terrible now with ML Politis. I'm not going to talk about the 4 stars or the 3 stars. It's whatever. But, like, there's just so much in the meta like that's just she is going and that's not even the hardest part about her too. Like it's not the scariest part of her. That
decreases the amount of resources.
That just makes her units that would the meta units just like bad. But like you go in here. Alright, host the ball, makes all allies enraged for 2 turns, dispels 2 buffs from all enemies, and then decreases speed for 2 turns, and then pushes them back by 20%. The only advantage is the fact that she's not gonna have crazy effectiveness unless you want to sacrifice a lot of speed, or sacrifice bulk. So she kind of have to rely on her effect resistance, ignore effect resistance here. But like, even if you don't land a strip in a defense, the attack, the speed break, decrease speed, and then pushback. Giving your team a rage though, it's pretty scary though too. Like, and a lot of people are like, "Oh, it's a good combo with like a Tywin or with a Tywin or Janua." They're gonna be really, or you might, or hell, you might even make a freaking Teu usable. But like, they're like, "Oh, it should be amazing because of the combo of Janua." I'm like, well, that's true. You realize how strong Enrage is now, right? 20% attack plus 20% speed. You put that on any other unit that's like really like that has like a speed scaling with it. Like if you go a really really fast ML Politis into a freaking really fast ML Politis into a Top Monolithica. Top Monolithica has speed scaling on top of it. So she'll get a rage set which gives her 20% more attack, 20% more speed, and then she gets herself attack buff. So she has speed scaling and attack, so she'll do a lot of damage. And now that she can just go book as well, she can also hold your freaking your souls for ignore effect resistance, or you can use it for her S3 for Top Monolithica's S3. So she's gonna like those two together are gonna be insane. And then obviously, gives your team 20% CR push with Top Monolithica. The only thing advantage you have is like what Green Celine can like really wreck that combo, I guess. But yeah, and to make things worse, her S1 is also going to be her S1's already dispel 1 buff, which makes it already a decent S1. But if you're in rage, it triggers a dual attack with the highest attack, so it's even better than Conqueror Lilius. Basically, she's going to be an aggressive Conqueror Lilius. Like so. When you think about Conqueror Lilius, strips, reduces the cooldown of all buffs on the enemy's team, and then it gives them attack down, and then gives your team vigor, which is basically attack and defense. So basically, your opponent's all on attack down with your team being in defense up. So you think about it like Conqueror Lilius is a defensive version of ML Politis. ML Politis is an aggressive one because it gives you attack and speed, which allows you to be more aggressive. And also, a lot of that really fast openers or a lot of fast units like that also have speed scaling on top of it. Like Sid has speed scaling. So, or if you have her outspeed Ran somehow. I think Ran might have speed scaling too. I don't know. I could be wrong on that one. I don't use Ran, but like yeah. A lot of the speed units also have speed scaling on top of it, so that's an even increase. So you're doing 20% more on the speed scaling side of it too. And like obviously the S1 is even better than Celius because yours actually it pulls the highest attack unit instead of just a random unit. And then also, so you're like, well, Conqueror Lilius has a provoke and a CR push, but like. Obviously, she has a CR push on her S3 as well, but she doesn't have a provoke. That's the only like thing that's an advantage type of thing. What Conqueror Lilius has, and they have roughly the same stat line, right? Because they're both about 6,000 health, 600 defense, with about 120, 121 speed. So they're both roughly the same stat line. So basically, this is a power creep Conqueror Lilius. I mean, some people say like, well, Conqueror Lilius is still better or is still good, obviously. And yeah, obviously you can use them both together. Could you imagine that though? Freaking Vigor plus Enrage, or like, yeah, it's like, dude, that would just make someone into a freaking super hero. Oh, I'm gonna just turn this one random DPS unit basically into a hyper carry. They'd be so broken together. And also, I'll talk about that in a second too. So, as you notice here, her S3 is a non-attack skill, right? Okay. Her S2 is a passive, and her S1 is a strip and will dual attack, right? So her S3 is a non-attack skill, and it only has one debuff, as well as stopping focus and slowing down and reducing focus and fighting spirit. So if you notice it, every single one, pretty much most counters to Conqueror Lilius is not going to be a counter to ML Politis. Because watch, okay, so let's see, we go to Conqueror Lilius, right? So obviously, Conqueror Lilius has an extra turn, so Moon Bunny counters her. So, because you can't use S3 against a Moon Bunny, because you're going to give them, skill nullifier, immunity, and cleanse the debuff, and stuff like that. So, yeah. So, Moon Bunny counters Conqueror Lilius. Conqueror Lilius also does one debuff or two if you do the one debuff on everyone, and there are two on one person if you do the S2 afterwards. But so that implies debuffs, so that works. So Design a Little Bit counters, right? No, well, yeah. So it counters. Design a Little Bit does counter her, because you're kind of forced to use S2 on Dilibet, otherwise Dilibet's going to cut and then cut the rest of your team. And she has a dual attack on the S1, which will counter stuff like Lionheart Sirmia. Well, ML Politis does not deal with. So ML Politis does not deal with Moon Bunny, because she has no extra turn, so she does not get countered by Moon Bunny. While she does use one debuff on the team, on the enemy team, like that. So, but she cuts Fighting Spirit, so Design a Little Bit can't counter her. And while she does dual attack on the S1, she cuts Fighting Spirit, so Lionheart Sirmia doesn't counter her. She has built-in Guiding Light, so now Zeo can't counter her, because that's one thing that you can counter Lilius is with stuff like Zeo, because obviously she has no way to stealth herself. But Politis does, because she has built-in Guiding Light. So now she counters Zeo. Zeo can't do anything about it. So the only hope you have is to outspeed her with an AoE unit. Okay, so basically you have to cleave her. This is already crazy how much cleave is being forced right now, how often you run into cleave. And then also you think about it, you pick her with cleave, she counters a lot of the units that would fight cleave, because she counters the I wouldn't say counter. No, she does counter, because she even stops Landy, because Landy gives the whole team crit resistance, which is again the reason why I fucking hate Landy. ML Landy is because she gives the whole team crit resistance. But now she's gonna strip that too, so Landy is basically just gonna be prey to counter salvo their squishy cleave units to death. That's the only hope you have with that, right? So now the cleave units are probably going to find a way to put Politis, because why not? Because she gives attack buff plus one attack, not attack buff, but she gets attack, which she gives rage buff, which is attack and speed. So it gives you even more attack and speed. And a lot of the cleave units are also speed based, or some of the speed based one, like Sid would be also too. It's just going to be another cleave unit. Cleave is just going to steal her and screw over the turn 2 units. You can't even use fire. You can't even use the Apocalypse Ravi. I completely forgot about her during when I was going over that, because Apocalypse Ravi now is only going to start with 25, and then she's going to get 5. Well, no, she's going to still consume 10, but she's only going to get. Wait, moment this caster attack consumes 10. She gets what? She only get 15 off of this, and she only get 10 off of this. So it's going to get to the point that you can't Apocalypse Ravi can't self-sustain through it anymore. And a lot of people are like, well, thank God. It's no, it's just she's going to be broken as hell. Also, here's the thing though as well. So it's been hinted at, I think the end of the month is probably around where the season will end, right? If the unit comes out before I don't know, it was I don't remember how many days is it though. Was it 2 weeks or is it 1 week? Before the season ends, you can't. Then they will be pre-banned, global banned for the end of the season. But ML Politis comes out a few days before that trade-off, that mark. So ML Politis is going to be available in Arena. You're going to be able to use ML Politis in RTA when she comes out.
You interrupt my work.
The collab units will not, though. They will not be available. They will be global banned once they come out, because they'll come out right around the end of the season. So you won't be able to use the collab units until preseason, which is good for kind of, actually, because you don't want, if one of them are super meta dependent or defining units, you don't want them ruining over RTA. Kind of like how Hoyoung was when she first came out. She was pretty much the most broken unit in existence, and then basically the whole meta of the RTA was revolved around her for the last week or so. And that's why because I think it was like literally the last week. And she was the reason why they're like, okay, any unit that comes out week before the RTA season ends, we'll have to global ban them. But I think, from what I understand, ML Politis is going to come out a few days before that mark. So ML Politis is going to be available in RTA. The Overlord collab will not. So she's going to completely shape the meta of the RTA season, or be a forced pre-ban unit. And yeah, it's going to be crazy. So yeah. Basically, I mean, obviously I'm going to pull her. I'm going to have to probably start freaking first picking her, because a lot of my units I like to use are also freaking Fighting Spirit units or Focus units. So they will destroy my entire team. And I don't want to deal with fighting that on top of people abusing with Janua. So I might actually have to start first picking her instead of Rose. But I can always pick Rose second, though. But, like, yeah. Because, like, look at some of my matches here.
My time to shine.
Fighting Spirit, and Focus. Pretty much, yeah, 3 of them right here. Look how much I abuse Fighting Spirit and Focus. Well, even my loss. Yeah, you can see some of my. I forgot this match was funny though. But yeah, look at this, 2 of these. Yeah, my win rates. Actually, it's okay for using some stupid things like Rose first pick every game. I don't always rely on them, but like, yeah, I do. Oh, my greens. I love my I love my Euphine. Yeah. If it gets to the point that, like, I don't know, it's just, I'm kind of worried that they're going to destroy the meta the very last week or so of RTA, and the game's just going to be crazy, and everyone's going to be like, I just hope they kind of just like decide to be smart and kind of global ban her for the last, because it is right around the end. So yeah. Anyways, the next video I'll make would be, I don't know, I might do a video for RTA. If not, it's fine. Yeah. Anyways, I'll definitely have a video for going over the Overlord collab, and for the summoning of ML Politis or Politis. So I'll see you guys in the next video.